On Citrus TV News, after several partial closings at Syracuse University this month due to weather, the university tells you how it decides when students have off.
And Michael Cohen is facing new accusations after his testimony yesterday on Capitol Hill. Stay tuned to see how the GOP is reacting to his revelations about the president.
And Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu is facing multiple corruption charges just 6 weeks ahead of Israeli elections. We'll tell you what the charges entail. Citrus TV News starts right now.
This is Citrus TV News live at 6, your campus news leader.
Syracuse University's interim chief diversity officer Keith Alford released the university's plans to make campus safer and more accessible for students. Good evening, I'm Zach.
And I'm Gilat Melamed. The changes come following a student forum about the Ackerman Avenue assault on February 9th.
New at 6, Syracuse University is enacting new initiatives to aid and protect students.
Chief Diversity Officer Keith Alford said that the university has reached an agreement with the Syracuse Police Department to provide a map of where DPS and SPD can respond to student complaints.
The Chancellor's Task Force on Sexual and Relationship Violence will share results of a survey given to students last spring about their awareness of relationship violence. Alford said many changes are being enacted following Student Forum last week.
It's no secret that Syracuse is one of the snowiest cities in the country, but how cold and how much snow does it take to cancel class? Our reporter Lilia Wood spoke with Chief Law Enforcement Officer Tony Callisto about why classes were canceled on Monday.
So the most recent decision to cancel morning was the forecast of winds that were hurricane force. So that's another factor.
He explained the wind could cause danger, and they were right. A tree fell on Mount Olympus Drive and could have hurt someone walking towards the women's building. While this decision was logical, a lot of students, like Mitch Taylor, do not understand the factors that go into canceling classes.
I feel like Syracuse cancels school on random days. Sometimes they should cancel school when they don't, and sometimes they don't need to when they do. So it's kind of weird.
Callisto explained that the decision involves a group discussion with people including Pete Sala and officials from SUNY ESF, who they try to make a joint decision with. They use data and predictions from Precision Weather and the National Weather Service. The team uses wind chill factors below 30 degrees as the benchmark.
Because you can bundle up, you're not going to have exposed skin, you can certainly make it anywhere in 30 minutes, and so not necessarily a challenge. So when we did cancel, it was because 35 below was the number that we heard, and it was going to be sustained all day long.
And while school districts in the area do cancel school pretty often, their decision has no effect on Syracuse University.
There's a significantly different threshold with regards to safety concerns when we're talking about kindergartners and first and second, third graders having to go out and wait for buses.
When speaking to alumni, they are quick to mention that they never had a snow day here. But Callisto says the hype from social media about weather did not exist years ago.
And so we know more today. Weather conditions aren't any worse. It's just that we know more and you know more. And when you, the student, knows more, we have a higher level of obligation to make sure that we get it right.
Thanks, Lilia. And Callisto wants to remind people that this is a residential campus, where most people live on or adjacent to campus. This means the university is obligated to provide them with services like residence halls, activities, and the dining halls. Class cancellation is only part of the problem.
Now, the conditions yesterday, not gonna lie, they were pretty gross. I mean, the roads were absolutely terrible, but today things looked a little bit better. Yeah,
there was no snow coming down from the sky, which is always a nice sign. It is the last day of February, so who knows what March will bring, but Adam Sperling is here to tell us all that and more.
That's right, guys. Depending on how you look at it, I don't think there are going to be any snow days in the near future. It's either a good thing or a bad thing. But looking outside right now, it's about 16 degrees here in Syracuse. It's a little bit sunny outside, which is nice. Temperatures are going to be rising in the late night, early morning, and it is also going to stay dry overnight. Now, if we take a look at tomorrow, we're going to be seeing that we're going to wake up to about 14 degrees at 9 a.m. It's going to be going up to about 30 by noon and about 31 by 6 p.m., but that doesn't tell the full story. It's going to get up to about 36 degrees around 2 p.m., and it's going to stay dry all day. Let's take a quick look at our Syracuse traffic report. We're seeing a little bit of a backup on I-81 over here. At the top of your screen, we're seeing very little backup on I-690. Irving Avenue, we are seeing a lot of traffic, and Waverly Avenue, just a little bit. Now, there was a non-fatal accident earlier on Waverly and Ostrom, and everything is seeming to be cleared up by now. In my full weather forecast, I'll let you know what you need to know for the weekend. Zach, Gilat, back to you.
Thanks, Adam. And new details, Chief Diversity Officer Keith Alford also mentioned improvements to campus accessibility in today's diversity update. Our Landon Wexler takes a look at how the Inclusive U program helps disabled students.
Thanks, guys. Well, when SU students think of diversity, when they think of the campus, diversity is often one of the first things that comes to mind. But it isn't too often, though, that they take notice of the disabled community.
Meet Olivia. She's a freshman from Carthage, New York, who wants an education, has a boyfriend, and wants to graduate from college. Her favorite parts of college thus far?
I like going to events and restaurants and games, like basketball and football games.
Olivia has disabilities, which made her dreams of college slightly complex. Syracuse University's Inclusive U strives to provide opportunities to students just like Olivia to have their college experience. But disabilities range among individuals. So we asked the director of Inclusive U, Bud Buckout, what does it take to become an Inclusive U student?
We modeled our application after the application that SU puts out. Then we tried to look at some of the different components too. So you have University College, they have their own application process. So some of the schools are a little bit different. So we tried to do the same general questions they may ask, and then we throw in a couple more just to get a little more information.
But with disabilities, a lot of the time comes the need for support.
All the students bring their own support people to help them in class. We don't hire or provide the mentors for that. We call them a campus mentor.
Along with there being the need for classroom and personal support, opportunities like these would require the university's support. And according to Inclusive U Communications Manager Carly Gavassi, SU has been doing just that.
The campus has been very welcoming. So, 2 years ago we started having students, giving them the ability to live in a residence hall. And they have internships all across campus, so we get help from departments to provide internship sites.
As we've heard, Inclusive U has tons of programs to help students with disabilities feel at home on campus. But for anyone, integrating can be a little bit tough. So how do some of the students feel the program has helped them?
Jared Kahn Bagley is a student mentor for Inclusive U, and he says students here have opportunities like nowhere else.
Our students are in seminars. They are actually integrated in college courses. They are going to all the Orange After Dark events, all the student events.
And Grafassi says that in just 3 years, Inclusive U has grown from 25 students to over 75 students. So we can expect to see the program grow a ton more going forward. For CitrusTV, I'm Landon Wexler.
Thanks, Landon. The Newhouse School Center for Global Engagement is hosting a panel about the history of slavery in the United States and South Africa. The No Innocence This Side of the Womb panel will feature both U.S. and South African artists, journalists, and activists. Discussions will focus on the relationship between the two countries and bring them together under a history of shared struggles. Doors opened at 5 and the event will go until 9 tonight.
New details on an Albany area mayor. He's now in the custody of federal marshals. Cohasset Mayor Sean Morse was indicted today on charges of misusing political campaign funds. This is not the first time the mayor has run into trouble. He was also investigated for charges of physically abusing his wife and daughter. This resulted in Governor Cuomo calling on Morse to resign last year. However, he's running for re-election and faces challenges from 3 Democratic candidates. The funeral for Jorge Jimenez, the man fatally struck by SU basketball coach Jim Boeheim, was held earlier today. The funeral took place at the A. DeWitt Funeral Home on South Salina Street. Service was open to the public and was paid for with donations from multiple Central New York businesses, including the funeral home.
Demonstrators have rescheduled the Let's Fix Our Democracy rally to next Monday. The CNY Solidarity Coalition's Facebook page for the event offered condolences to Representative John Katko following the loss of his father. The rally supports stemming the tide of big money in politics and a voting rights bill that will be voted on next month. The rally will take place on South Warren Street. According to the page, Katko so far has not expressed support to the bill. And trials begin Wednesday for a New York man accused of killing his disabled adopted son in 2017. Ernest Franklin of Norwich, New York, is charged with second-degree murder, third-degree arson, and tampering with physical evidence after he and his wife allegedly killed their son and burnt down their house to cover it up. Franklin's son, Jeffrey, was both deaf and nonverbal. Wife Heather Franklin will be tried separately.
The New York City Mayor's Office has begun a new grant initiative for women in the arts. These grants will be awarded to entrepreneurs in the arts and entertainment fields. While the city does not expect any payback for these loans, they believe that by funding these projects, the art will get back to the city. Projects being funded consist of a range of genres from serious art to fun films. However, the intent of the funds is the same, to inspire and kickstart women entrepreneurs in New York City. Governor Cuomo is proposing insurance that expands coverage to female fertility treatment. Lawmakers must approve the proposal first. If passed, the insurance would cover in vitro fertilization and medically necessary egg freezing. Cuomo also wants to prohibit insurance companies from denying a woman's claims for fertility treatment based on identity.
And in Albany, a century-long mistake has been corrected. The carving of abolitionist Frederick Douglass's name was given a second S today on a third-floor column in the New York State Capitol building, as you can see here. Douglass's name had been spelled with a single S since it was first carved on the $1 Million Staircase, which was constructed from 1884 to 1898. The staircase features 77 famous faces, and Douglass shares a column with former President Abraham Lincoln and Civil War General Ulysses S. Grant. And coming up, the perpetrator in last year's Capitol Gazette shooting appeared in court today. We have the full details after the break.
And President Trump cut his summit with North Korean leader Kim Jong-un short. We'll tell you why Trump walked away from the negotiating table. CitrusTV News, we'll be right back.
Leaving hot coals improperly extinguished can cause a wildfire.
Hey guys, it's Smokey!
It looks as if Smokey is going to use the drown, stir, drown and feel technique. After the first drown, a good start. Next, another drink. And finally, a close feel.
Is it cool? Okay. Yeah.
Hey, Smokey, catch! Oh, my bad, Smokey.
Only you can prevent wildfires.
Most party fouls are pretty dumb. But if you decide to drink and drive underage, you could lose your license and your freedom. Underage drinking and driving. The ultimate party foul.
They'll test you. Try to break your will. But however loud the loudness gets, however many cheese puffs may fly, you're the driver. The one in control. Stand firm. Just wait. And move only when you hear the click that says they're buckled in for the drive. Never give up till they buckle up.
They call me Maxie, but I prefer tripod. I was your above-average four-legged homie, and then wham, bam, minivan. Some people pity me. Now that's lame. I still run, fetch, and swim. And the ladies love me. I'm the ultimate wingman. Just don't ask me to high five.
If you see news happening on campus, in Syracuse, or across the nation, call the Citrus TV Newsroom, 315-443-1177, or tweet at Citrus TV News, your campus news leader.
Welcome back to Citrus TV News. GOP officials are referring ex-Trump attorney Michael Cohen to the Justice Department for perjury.
House Oversight Committee members wrote a letter today to new Attorney General William Barr with evidence that Cohen, quote, knowingly made false statements during his testimony. Cohen's attorney said Thursday that his client testified truthfully before the committee.
Cohen alleged yesterday that Trump was aware of his campaign's involvement with WikiLeaks over stolen Democratic emails during the 2016 campaign. He will return to the committee next Wednesday. President Trump was in Hanoi, Vietnam for a summit with Kim Jong-un, and he offered his own take on the testimony at a press conference.
He lied a lot, but it was very interesting because he didn't lie about one thing. He said no collusion with the Russian hoax. And I said, I wonder why he didn't just lie about that too, like he did about everything else.
Staying in Hanoi, talks between President Trump and North Korean leader Kim Jong-un have fallen apart.
This comes on the second day of the summit, which was meant to further discuss denuclearization in North Korea. Both sides were expected to sign a joint agreement.
Trump says Kim and North Korea wanted sanctions lifted, which the U.S. refused to do.
The man accused of killing 5 people at the Capitol Gazette newsroom appeared in court today.
Jared Ramos is charged with 5 counts of first-degree murder, but his attorneys are considering changing his plea to not criminally responsible by reason of insanity.
Attorneys will also have a chance to ask for more details regarding the charges. A trial is scheduled in June for Ramos.
The yeas are 228 and the nays are 198. The bill is passed.
The House of Representatives passed the first new gun control legislation in over 2 decades, and another bill is scheduled for a vote.
The initial bill requires background checks on all commercial gun sales, while the second, which will be debated today, extends the period authorities have to complete these checks.
Currently, if the background check is not performed in 3 days, the sale can automatically go through. The bill has faced opposition by both Republicans and the NRA.
Senator Cory Booker introduced a bill today that would legalize recreational marijuana nationwide.
The presidential hopeful is co-sponsoring the bill with other Democratic candidates such as Elizabeth Warren and Bernie Sanders. The bill, formerly known as the Marijuana Justice Act, would legalize the drug on a federal level.
Recreational marijuana is currently legal at the local level in 10 states as well as Washington, D.C.
And the latest on politics in Israel. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu is facing 3 criminal indictments, according to the Israeli Justice Ministry.
The crimes include bribery, fraud, and breach of trust. This comes in the midst of a tight election season in Israel after one of Netanyahu's opponents, Benny Gantz, recently surged in the polls.
Netanyahu's hearing will likely take place after the April 9th elections.
Pakistan is agreeing to release an Indian pilot whose plane was shot down over Kashmir yesterday.
Pakistan's prime minister announced that they will release the pilot tomorrow in a gesture of peace towards India. This comes in the midst of extreme tension between the two countries after a suicide car bomb in Kashmir killed 40 Indian soldiers earlier this month.
Despite the gesture of peace, tensions still run high. Kashmir has been a contested piece of territory between India and Pakistan for decades.
The U.S. Trade Office says that it will file documents this week to suspend tariffs on Chinese goods.
According to a statement from today, an agency representative says the move comes from President Trump. The tariff increase was supposed to have gone into effect this Saturday, putting a 25% tariff on $200 billion worth of Chinese exports.
Trump says there will be a signing summit with Chinese President Xi Jinping, but there is no date yet.
Coming up, Adam Sperling has your full weather forecast.
Don't go anywhere. Citrus TV News will be right back.
Patriotism. It inspires passionate debate. It's worn like a badge of honor with good reason, because it means love and devotion for one's country. But what really makes up this country of ours? It's the people. To love America is to love all Americans. This year, patriotism shouldn't just be about pride of country. It should be about love. Love beyond age, sexuality, disability, race, religion, and other labels. Because love has no labels.
Everybody has a dream. Mine was to see the ocean. And with a little help, I made it.
Did you hear about the pony with a sore throat? He was a little horse. Can I tell you a cat joke? Just kidding. Why couldn't the Why was the basketball court all wet? Why? Because the players kept dribbling all over it. Where do cats go on vacation? New York.
From the Citrus TV Weather Center, this is SU's most accurate weather forecast.
Welcome back to Citrus TV News. I'm Adam Sperling with the weather. Taking another look outside right now, it's about 16 degrees and temperatures are going to be rising late into tonight and it will stay dry overnight. Taking a look across central New York at some of the temperatures, Rome is our lowest right now at 15 degrees up in the north. As you go a bit further west, you are seeing some warmer temperatures. Fulton is our high at 26. Rochester, Penn, Elmira, all in the low 20s, high teens. Syracuse is still sitting at 16. And luckily, the sun is going to be staying out. In fact, tomorrow, the sun will come out tomorrow. It's going to be a really sunny day, getting a high of 36 degrees. You can expect some low winds, and it's going to be dry. And you can also expect some of the snow to melt. So taking a look at our weekend planner, Unfortunately, some of that snow is going to be coming back. So we're going to be seeing a high of about 36 on Saturday, going down to about a low of 27 Saturday night. Snow on and off both Saturday and Sunday with some low winds all around. Now stay tuned because I will be back with my 5-day forecast. Tim Leonard, what's going on in sports?
Well, Adam, coming up in sports, could Syracuse women's lacrosse grab its second straight ranked win? Plus, we will have a preview of a huge Syracuse women's basketball game tonight. All that and more. News Live at 6 returns right after this.
Hey, look, it's those guys. Are you good to drive?
I'm fine.
How many did you have?
I should be fine.
You should be.
Go and step out of the vehicle for me.
See ya, buddy. Good luck. So turns out, buzz driving and drunk driving, they're the same thing, and it costs around $10,000. So not worth it.
And now, your Citrus TV Sports Report.
It's been quite the start to the 2019 season for Syracuse women's lacrosse. A year after their first losing season since Gary Gait has been the head coach, the Orange are all the way up to number 4 in the nation. Last night, Cuse hosted number 12 Loyola inside the Dome. Matchup of two teams that are coming off top 5 wins, and Syracuse got it going early with Nicole Levy beating the goalie to the right side. This was a game that many anticipated to be very close, but Emily Harrischuk adds a goal there in traffic, and it's 4-0 Cuse. Harrischuk, the reigning ACC Player of the Week, wasn't done there, made it 5-0 going upper left 90. Cuse all over Loyola early. Megan Carney, the freshman, adds another. It was 7-0 Orange against, again, this number 12 team in the country. Loyola would get on the board late in the first half. Fiedler finds the net from the doorstep to make it 7-1, but back to Harrischuk, the Orange go. Make it 12-4 at the end of the first half. Harrischuk had 4 goals in this one, 8 goals in the past 2 games for Loyola. Would go on a little bit of a run in the second half, a 4-0 run to make it somewhat of a game, but again, it was just too little too late. Syracuse got up early and won it 15-11. After the game, Gary Gait credited his defense for the victory.
I, was very excited to see how well they played and the number of opportunities they gave us in the first half. I think it's our best defense we've had in a long time, and they have the opportunity to continue to get better throughout the year. So we hope they continue to work and get better as we go. But they're playing very well for us right now.
As for the women's basketball team, number 17 Syracuse has a huge game tonight at 22nd ranked Florida State. Now, this game could decide who gets the 5 seed in the ACC tournament. Both teams enter in a share for 5th place in the conference with 9-5 records. After this, each team has just one more regular season game on Sunday. A win tonight would be SU's 4th ranked win of the season. Surprisingly, the 3 they have right now all came away from the Dome. Florida State, meanwhile, is 2-2 against ranked teams this year. Coach Q says one thing in particular stands out about the Seminoles.
Balance, always the same. Florida State's always a good team.
They're always balanced. They have really good post players. They play in transition, and their guards can shoot it. So it's a very tough team, but another good ACC basketball team.
In the NBA, it's a matchup of who wants Zion more tonight between the 14-win Cavs and 13-win Knicks. New York actually enters on a 2-game winning streak, believe it or not, and are winners of 3 of their last 4. The latest came over the Magic on Tuesday. The difference in that one was bench play. The Knicks had 4 bench players score in double figures, including a team-high 19 from Emmanuel Mudiay. This is the 3rd and final meeting between these two this year. Cleveland won the first 2. From a last-place team to a first-place team, the Islanders host the Maple Leafs tonight. That means it's the return of John Tavares to Nassau Coliseum. The center left them for Toronto in the offseason. With the win tonight, though, in Game 63 of the season, New York could pass its point total from all of the 82-game season last year. Not too shabby for a team that lost its star. Puck drop is set for 7.
All right, now, Tim, speaking of big names, there was a pretty big deal going on today. Can you tell us a little bit about Bryce Harper's new deal?
Bryce Harper signed a deal, 13 years, $330 million with the Phillies. That is a lot of Philly cheesesteaks that you could buy with that deal. So they forked over a lot of money for the star, and he's finally got a deal.
Hey, 13 years of employment, a little jealous there. All right,
we'll be right back.
They said a bottle was just a bottle. That no one would ever notice me. But I knew I could be more. That one day, I would make people smile.
What are you, superheroes?
Just 4 brothers who hate bullies and love this city.
Gear up, guys.
I see you mobbing over her. Let's go. Let's mob. Let's crawl. Let's crawl. Let's crawl. Hey, yo, we mobbing. Come on, girl. Let's crawl. Hey, yo, let's crawl. Hey, yo, let's crawl. Hey, let's crawl. Hey, yo, let's crawl.
All right, welcome back, Adam. Now, it was cold today, but the weather's going to be burning up tonight with the Jonas Brothers reuniting, putting out that new song. But what about the rest of the week? What's the weather looking like?
The rest of the week is looking like less Jonas Brothers music. It's a little bit colder, unfortunately. Friday is going to be the best day of the weekend to early week. The highest temperatures for sure starting at a high of 36. Then Saturday and Sunday, we are going to be seeing some snow with a little break from the snow on Monday. But Monday, we're going to be getting down to a low of about 6 degrees. Tuesday, no better. Some snow again, 17 degrees, low of 7 degrees.
Now, we don't know what the weather's going to be like in the year 3000, but for tomorrow, what should I be wearing to class?
So for tomorrow, I'd say you can pretty much go easy on the jackets, go easy on the boots. I'm hoping to see some of that snow dying down, some of that snow getting off of the floors and make me less likely to slip and fall and break my skull.
I know, well, they say March comes in like a lion, but hopefully tomorrow's not too much of a lion day.
Hopefully it's a lamb.
All right, thanks, Adam.
And that's all the time we have for you tonight. Make sure to follow Citrus TV News on Twitter and Facebook for 24/7 news in the 315. Thanks for watching. I'm Zach Lang.
And I'm Gilat Melamed. Thanks for watching Syracuse. Have a great night.